Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Everybody Needs a Nudge. Root Beer, where are we now on episodes? I've been a little derelict in my duties.
5.
5 for this year.
This season.
Yeah, season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah. Season 2 of Everybody Needs a Nudge. We've got another family member. Well, I think what everybody's starting to realize is that I don't have any friends. I just have people that are related to me.
A huge family.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, huge, especially on my mother's side. So, Marni Migliaccio, one of the premier real estate agents on the South Shore, is joining us. Hi, Marni.
Thank you. Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell. You're smiling, though, which is good.
That's all I do when I'm nervous.
So that's your nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to know what mine is? I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Number
That's
2.
another one, too. Oh, yes.
So I'll tell you a funny story.
Clarify.
So, yeah. So when I was in the district attorney's office and I was up in Lowell and used to get sent upstairs to this, and I can't remember the judge's name, but he would try all the cases. So I would get my file and I would go upstairs and I would be so nervous. And I probably tried 40 cases in front of this judge. And it got to a point where just before we would start, he would look down and say, "Mr. Nigerian, do you need to go to the men's room?" And I'd be like, "Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Oh, my God.
I'll be right back." And he would say, "Recess for Mr. Nigerian to go to the men's room." Yeah.
I think that's common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how would you do? Would you
Oh, there was a little
be quick?
bathroom right outside there. Boom, 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 in and out.
Oh.
Yeah, well, ready to go, Judge. Ready to go, Your Honor. I never called him Judge. I always found when I was in practice, no, we're sort of off track, but that's okay. When I was practicing in court, because I was in court from 2002 to probably 2009, like on a regular, like daily, every day. And I never liked the sound of judge. You know, so I used to always say, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Well, Your Honor, my client. I would never say, Judge, my client. It just didn't sound right. Doesn't Your Honor sound better?
Yeah. I thought you had to call them Your Honor.
No, you can call him Judge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can say Judge. I always said Your Honor.
Yeah.
It sounds
better. Yeah.
I would like to be called Your Honor.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
I had the choice.
Exactly. Yeah. I would make people call me Your
Yeah.
Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do that.
What
at
did you
home
just say?
tonight. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of games you're playing at your house, but I don't need to know about them, okay? But so there was a birthday. We'll get into Marni, but there was a birthday in your house recently, right?
Yeah. My son turned 16.
16 years old.
Yeah.
Henry.
Yep.
Dark skin, handsome boy.
Oh, thank you.
He
He
is-
told me not to laugh on this show because I would hurt people's ears when they were listening.
Well, tell Henry that's what you have to laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm back. So I have been derelict in my duty. I think this is like 3 weeks since we've done a podcast. Is that right, Root Beer?
Right.
Yeah. Root Beer gets mad at me when we go this long.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
But I'm back. I'm back on the elliptical. That's my workout. I showed you
Okay.
the gym.
Yep.
But I go like it's a Peloton. I think it's a Peloton type,
Yeah.
and so you can go on like walking tours.
Yep. I've heard you talk about
Yeah.
that.
So I've been on a couple.
I listen.
I've been on a couple. Good. I like that.
Yeah,
We got a
yeah.
listener here.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Tens of our fans. She's one of them. So that means we're only going to have 19 fans listening because one of them's on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
But they did one on East London. Did you go abroad? You went to Portugal, right?
I went to Barcelona.
Barcelona.
And northern Spain, but no, not to
Just a vacation. You just went there to vacation.
Yep, not for school.
With all
or
the
anything.
ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't go over do a semester abroad or
No.
anything like that. Okay.
No.
So East London. And I'm always interested in the East End of London. I'm always interested in like how a city forms, right? Like why back in the day was South Boston all Irish? Why is the North End all Italian? Like stuff like that, right?
Right.
So in London, and I didn't know this, there's the city proper, and then there's the West End, which was like where all the rich people went.
Yep.
That's where all the money is, in the West End of London. And then the East End was not nice. Like that guy was, as he was going through the walking tour, he's like, if you were walking around here 50, 70 years ago, whatever it was, you wouldn't be safe. It wasn't a safe place to be. It's gentrifying, right? And it's up and coming. But the reason why the East End was poor was because there was always a west wind. So they put all the factories and like the tanning companies and all the so they would make leather there, and you had to kill the cow,
Yeah.
and then they used cow urine to to do the leather, whatever they did to it, and the smells were so bad that they wanted it on the East End so that the wind.
So they sent the smell to the
out to the water.
Oh.
So it was West End, London, East End, and the wind was blowing this way,
Right.
and it would just blow it right out to the water. That's why the West End was where everybody wanted to live, and the East End was where all the dregs of society were.
Yep, gotcha.
But now there's a gentrification going on, and you can't get anything in there for less than $1 million. So it's like Southie.
Yeah, and it's on the water.
It's on the
Yeah.
water.
That's nice.
I
Yeah,
know,
but
right?
back then it wasn't nice. You didn't want to be near the water because that where the docks were and all the smells and manufacturing and all that crap.
Yeah, isn't that funny how that's changed so much?
Now everybody wants to be on the water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Incredible.
The other thing that I thought was very interesting was the whole place is covered in graffiti. The whole place. But they don't call it graffiti. They call it street art.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I like the branding of that.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
nice.
That's exactly what I said. That's graffiti. The people are spray painting shit on the wall, and so they call it street art. And what the city did was you had to get a permit. So these artists had to go get a permit, and in order to paint. And if your painting was good, the other artists would respect it and they wouldn't paint over it. But if your painting stinks,
they go right over it.
they go right over it.
Oh.
They go right over it. And then some of the people that didn't want to get permits or couldn't get permits or whatever, they would make it look like they had permits. So they would put out cones and they would wear their jackets, and the cops would come and wouldn't bother them because they figured, hey,
They must have a permit.
hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Genius, right?
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but they call graffiti street art. And I will say, on my walking tour over here, it's some good art.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Z.
It's amazing what they can do
It's
with a spray can.
It's amazing.
Come on. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Thanks,
And
Z
have you
does that.
ever seen it over a bridge where they had to have climbed and been, above the cars
Right.
and do all this art? It's
I always
crazy.
wonder how
It's
they
amazing.
get
How
up
do they
there.
get there?
How do they get there?
Yeah. So
Upside
they have to be
down?
athletic and talented.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
So I learned about the 10 Bells pub, which is where Annie Chapman worked, who was the first victim of who was the big murderer over there? Oh,
Oh.
I didn't write it down. Who was the big murderer in London?
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper.
Exactly.
So she was a waitress at the 10 Bells pub. Annie Chapman, R.I.P.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. I wish I didn't bring that up. Right? Oh, man. So now one of the main streets, this is the last thing I'll tell you about the East End. One of the main streets is called Middlesex Street. But it wasn't always called Middlesex Street. It was Petticoat Lane.
Oh, I like that better.
Yeah, me too. But they
Yeah.
got rid of it because petticoat was like ladies' underwear. Did you know that?
Oh. What's Middlesex?
Well, it's the. I don't know, Your Honor. Middlesex is the county in which I think it's
yeah.
right there.
I know, but
Yeah, I know.
know what I'm saying.
I know. They're having some
got
middle
it.
sex.
yeah.
And then the other place, and this is why I wanted to, because Root Beer loves, you love a love story.
I do.
So,
I do.
so I'm going to give you a love story. You ready for a love story? So I did another walk, and they went to the Topkapi Palace, which is in Turkey. All right. And this was the Sultan. He lived in this huge palace, Topkapi, Topkapi palace. And he lived there with 400 members of his family and 4 wives, and he had 20 favorites, the guy on the walk called. So he must have had, mistresses or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he used to take, obviously they were big into bathing. I just learned this, the Ottoman Empire, unlike the French and the English, they bathed every day. Where like the French, I guess, only bathed like twice a year or something crazy like that.
Oh.
Yeah, totally gross. But the Ottoman Empire, they bathed every day, so it was like a big to do, right? And he's the Sultan, he controls everything, he's rich, and so he's got like this. He had like a 80,000 square foot bathroom, okay?
Yeah.
And he used to go into the bathroom, and he would soap up in one area and then he would bathe in the other area because he couldn't understand, or they couldn't understand as a culture, why you would soap up, get all the dirt off you in the tub that you're then going to soak in.
Right.
So it was like they cleaned up and then they tubbed. Right? Where like if we take a tub,
Yeah,
like
you just sit
sit
in
in
the-
your own filth.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of disgusting when you think about it, right?
Yeah. My husband's a big tub guy.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
know.
I don't think you want to reveal that on national television.
Nothing wrong with a tub.
Yeah. He loves a tub.
Really?
Yep.
Tub.
I know a lot of guys that like a tub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So,
like what we like too. They're just not as vocal about it.
Does
Yeah.
he shower? So we should ask this question. Are you showering before you get in the tub?
So he'll usually bathe and then take a shower.
That seems reverse.
Yeah. But then he gets it all off him, right?
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But he likes to relax in the tub for a little while. And he's got like a couple of friends that are the same way. And then I was just talking to somebody else in my workout class and her husband's the same way. I'm like, it's funny.
Take a tub. I
tub
don't know that
boys.
I've ever taken a tub.
I
The
know.
tub boys.
Well, maybe you
My
like
dad,
it.
my dad tubbed too.
Really?
Now that I think of it. Yeah. Yeah. He used to tub all the time. Yeah.
See, my parents had a big tub in there,
yeah.
but they never used it.
No.
Ever. Because by the time you filled it up, the water was cold because it was so goddamn
it was
big.
so huge. It was like the size of this room.
That was stupid. So when he would, before he got in the tub, and this isn't the part of the love story, but before he got in the tub, he used to lock himself in the room that he was soaping up because that was the only time he felt vulnerable was if he had soap in his eyes. And he's like, and that made it sound like someone was trying to kill him all the time.
Don't we all think that? You're washing your face.
That thought has never crossed my
No.
mind.
Very vulnerable.
Oh,
Really?
Well, yeah.
What are you
yeah.
afraid
But
of?
like in the
You live with a
shower?
police officer
Well, when I
and
used
a
to-
roommate.
When I used to live alone,
Oh, okay.
anytime I would take a shower, I would always be so nervous.
Yeah. I will say this. Marlene, my wife, locks the door when she goes upstairs. If she's home alone, when she goes upstairs to take a shower,
Oh,
she locks the door.
that is
Yeah.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I locked the door yesterday because I had the clean team cleaning my couches.
Oh, yeah?
It was only one person, but I was like, oh my gosh, I have to take a shower. And I
Yeah.
felt really uncomfortable with somebody in my house. So I locked my door.
Right.
You're talking about the bathroom door.
I locked my bedroom door.
Bedroom.
And then my
Yeah.
bathroom in the bedroom I didn't lock that door.
Double
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Lock it up.
I would.
Creep from clean team.
I
Poor guy's out there. He's probably listening to the podcast like, I was so nice to that woman.
He took a picture of my dog and said he was going to be pet of the week.
Right? Yeah. Just driving down the road. You listening to this? I was so nice. Sorry. I extra cleaned her carpet. God damn it. No good deed goes unpunished. You think he's creeping on you, trying to. But the love story.
Yeah.
So the servants, the Sultan's servants, were not allowed to look at him
Okay. Yep.
in any way ever. Apparently, one of the servants looked at him, wasn't supposed to, immediately fell in love with him. Okay? Look at the look.
Did he write this story?
No, I don't know who I don't know who wrote this story. But this is the best part.
Okay.
So she's cleaning up the shower area, whatever, and she writes on the mirror something like, what if someone wanted to meet you? But it's not there because it doesn't come back until it fogs up the next day.
Oh, she's good.
Yeah.
So it fogs up. He sees it. He writes her a note back, reveal yourself. So she panics, right, because she's not supposed to see him.
Yeah.
She sees the reveal yourself. The next day, she writes, what if one is scared? It comes up in the steam. He writes back, don't be. Because he's obviously a lady slayer. He's got
he's like,
ladies
I can
all
add
over. He's
another
like,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Let's see what we got here. I mean, if I don't like her, I'll just toss her to the side. I'm the Sultan, right? He
Yeah.
can do whatever he wants. And they meet and fall in love.
Oh my God. What about the other 4 wives?
I don't know what happened to them, but
They're still around.
yeah.
She just got
But
added
that's
to
a
the
nice
list.
love story.
That is.
I mean, the Sultan's not. I mean, he's not like a room. I mean, I just think that's a nice story for the servant. What do you think? Your love story.
Yeah, I'm going to ask John to write me letters in the mirror now. If
Do you
he
know
takes a shower,
do you know
there's not a
John?
letter.
John is her boyfriend.
Yeah. What's his
He's a state
nickname
trooper.
again?
Johnny Cops.
Johnny Cops.
Yep. G.I. John.
So G.I. John. So does he listen to the show?
No.
He doesn't.
No.
So he doesn't even know that he's a character on this show.
He knows.
Oh, he
I've
does.
told him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the last place that where I was today, which I thought was really interesting, was I was at Circle of Life sculptures in Oslo, Norway.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you ever have a chance, just Google it. It's really cool. It's this guy, Gustav Vigland, Vigeland, and he's got all these sculptures in Norway, and it's like the Circle of Life. So like it's a big circle, and on one side it's babies, and then it shows them as kids, and then it's all the way
cool.
married, old, and it's like the dead people are right next to the babies because that's the Circle of Life. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sad and beautiful.
All
at
at
the
once.
same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what sculpture should be, right? I mean, let's just call it a spade here, right? I mean,
Right.
we wanted to invoke emotion,
Right.
and
That does.
that
Yep.
evokes emotion. But it's made out of granite, right? But the woman kept calling it granite.
Oh.
Where is she from?
I don't know. She had an accent. I actually thought it was like nicer, granite, instead of granite. I don't know.
It could be how it's probably
Pronounced over there.
properly pronounced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
we
ruined
butchered it.
everything.
Yeah.
Us
Americans.
Americans.
filthy Americans
Yeah.
bathing in our own filth and
Yeah.
butchering the
Yuck.
English language. What's that? There's a line. There's a separated by common language. That's what they say people in England are from
Us.
us, because we speak the same
Yeah.
language, but it's very different. They're very
Yeah.
proper.
They're very proper. I love the way they speak.
Yeah, Charlie in the office here, he's got a good command of the English language.
He does.
Plus it's the accent. They just sound smarter.
Right. No matter what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds better
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah.
I know. So what else? So the hockey's going great. Duxbury girls won last
Yeah.
night. Moving on.
Now, have you guys even lost one game?
We have lost a game. We lost to Bishop Fian,
Okay.
and I blame Marlene. I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. And you're going to go, oh, that makes sense. Okay, so Bishop Fian, who we don't usually play, I really like their coach. And actually, we're going to play him again next year, so I'm really excited about it. They have a good team. And Marlene's cousin's daughter is on the team.
Okay.
So I was with, her name is Brooke. I was with Brooke's dad, Daryl, who's a great guy, hockey guy. And I was like, hey, it's her last year. This is our last opportunity. Duxbury should play Bishop Fian. So he said, yeah, here's the coach's number, set it up, blah, 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 blah. I go ahead, set it up. We go over to their rink in Attleboro, and we lose. I never would have played them if it wasn't for Marlene. I never would have. And Marlene knows me so well. I come home off the
Oh my
bus.
God.
I walk in the house. She goes, you're going to blame me for that loss, aren't you? And I said, yeah, I never would have been there if it wasn't for you. So
What was the score?
1-0.
Oh my God.
I know. So aggravating. But we won last night. Let's focus. Focused and forward, as my friend Jack Doherty from College Hype would say. College Hype, they're today's sponsor. They didn't even know it. Jack Doherty, College Hype. If you need any T-shirts, jackets, sweatpants, anything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's got a great story. We should have him on the podcast. He's a Westfield
up.
State kid.
My guy.
Yeah, so he started a T-shirt company at Westfield State.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you know,
I do. I've heard of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
College Hype.
Yep.
And his daughter plays at Hingham. She played club hockey for me. So Jack Doherty, College Hype.
Did Steve-O go to Westfield?
Steve-O went to North Adams.
North Adams. Okay.
That's
Okay.
nice. They have a
Yeah.
nice campus.
It's not North Adams anymore. It's like Mass School of Art or something like that,
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah. Root Beer
Mass
went to
College of Liberal Arts.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you went to Westfield.
I did.
Yeah. Where did you go to college?
I went to Northeastern,
Oh, look at me.
which
Nice.
wasn't Northeastern like it is today.
All right, well, let's get into it.
It was
So
very different.
congratulations to the girls and boys Duxbury hockey teams in the Final Four. But let's get into Marni Migliaccio. That was a long
I love that last
prelude.
name.
But
Migliaccio, if you
Yeah.
say it in Italian.
oh
The G
no,
is silent.
really?
Silent, yeah. Migliaccio.
Migliaccio.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue.
It
See
does.
again, the
Yeah.
American language
Butchers
butchering.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Migliaccio is like
Yeah, Migliaccio.
yeah, Migliaccio, Marni Migliaccio. I mean, how about that? I mean, it's an amazing name, by the way. It is,
an
right?
amazing name.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your name? Marni Migliaccio. What's your name? Come over here. But
Say something.
so, and I know some of these answers, but
Yeah.
what I do love best is that I'm going to learn something new about you that
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Okay,
So we're going to start from the beginning because nobody knows you.
right.
Where were you born?
Hanover, Massachusetts.
On Reed Drive,
Yep, 44 Reed Drive.
44 Reed Drive. And
Yep.
who lived there with you?
So it was my parents. My oldest in the family is Jonna, my sister, and my brothers Billy and Steven. And
So
I
you're
was
the baby. So you're the opposite of my family. I think
Yes.
I just realized that.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
You book the girls are bookends with the boys in the middle.
Yep.
And the boys are bookends with the girls in the middle.
Yep.
And you're the
Jonna-
youngest.
Yeah, Jonna and I are 7 years apart. You're
Oh, your parents, they
Yeah.
made quick work of it.
yeah, yeah. I was a mistake. Not a mistake. I was a
Blessing.
blessing, but I was a surprise. That's what I was.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. The story is that my mother didn't even tell him for the first 3 months.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. Yeah,
And then he found out.
yeah,
Uncle John.
yeah, yeah. He found out.
He was probably fired up. But we used to what holiday did we go over there for? Was it Thanksgiving? Easter? We used to do something in the front room we used to come in the middle of the house and go to the right. There was a room over there.
Yep.
I can see the
A
house.
front to back living room.
Yeah, and then you went down the hall, made a left, and the
And the
kitchen was
kitchen-
over there.
The house looks exactly the same. It was on the market like 4 years ago, and me and my mother went.
Oh, you
the
had to go
open
through
house. Yeah, it looks the same kitchen. I'm
Come
like,
on.
really? Yeah. Yep.
And you've been out of that house. Your mother's been out of the house for
Yeah.
years.
Years. Yep. Yep.
That was a great neighborhood, though.
Good neighborhood. Yeah, great neighborhood.
Lots of fun over there.
Yeah, great part of town.
Yeah.
I mean, I would
Local.
Yep. We were not too far from each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But you were right smack in the middle of it all.
Yeah, right by the courts and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah, you could
and
walk to the
yeah.
courts. The courts were like
stables.
where all the cool kids hung out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to hang out at the courts.
No.
My mother would be like, "Why are you going to the courts?
Yeah.
Just gonna hang out. Just gonna hang out down there?
Yeah.
All right, can I go to the mall? No, you can't go to the mall either.
Yeah.
All right, well, I
Bad
can't do
element.
anything. Yeah.
Bad element.
Yeah.
The Hanover Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to the movies, and then I'd walk over to the mall.
Yeah.
But I wasn't allowed to go to the mall. That's why I have no friends. My parents didn't allow me to have friends.
My
They
mom did the same thing.
They couldn't trust me to have friends. All right, so now you grow up in Hanover. You
Yeah.
play any sports?
I did not in high school.
But
But
you
I
grew up
did-
playing sports.
Like softball and really just softball. And I did a little bit of, I guess it was hockey back then, but it was really not. It was while my brothers were playing hockey that they had like the siblings on like at Rockland.
Yeah, you can just go
Yeah,
for
we
a-
had helmets and no pads on.
So you were
And-
just skating.
yeah, kind of.
Did you? So what else did you do besides? What did you do? Like what were your interests?
Jeez.
You know what my sister Doris said?
Yeah, I was with Doris.
Yeah, making
That's who I was with.
making music videos.
Exactly. Like, yeah, listening to music and
So music.
MTV
Enjoying
just
your
came,
childhood.
came to play.
So
and
music.
Yeah. Yeah, like music and fun. And I mean, we were outside all the time, riding bikes.
Yeah.
Like in the summer, I'd ride my bike to Hummerock Beach. Like,
Who could?
That's a hike.
That's a hike.
it's a hike, but we would do that. Like, we didn't have, I don't know,
Just rules. You didn't.
I guess rules or parents that drove us anywhere.
Right, because they were busy doing their thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So and your mother's the second oldest, right?
Yeah.
In the
Judy, Franny, Denise, Sheila,
Sheila,
Danny.
Right. Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
who you're named after.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm the third, actually. His father was a Danny.
Yeah.
So without getting too much into the family history,
Yeah.
So Danny O'Connell, our
Uncle.
grandfather,
Oh, yeah, grandfather.
our
Yeah, the
grandfather
original.
died young, Danny O'Connell. Then his son, the youngest sibling of our mother's,
Yeah.
died young of a drug overdose, 20 something, right?
I think he was 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So you don't remember him at all?
no.
No. He was
No.
groovy. He had long hair. That's all I remember is we had a go-kart. Do you remember that? We
Yeah, I
had a
remember the
go-kart?
go-karts. Yeah.
That never worked. But anyway, he made it work once. I remember that. And my brothers got to, drive it and play on it. I was too young. But he had like long, straight hair and was really handsome face, but kind of like, I just remember him being like groovy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever met him. I don't know what year. I know I never met him.
Yeah.
I know. But I'm Daniel James Nigerian. They were Daniel James O'Connell. I think they were Daniel James.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So I'm the third.
DJ.
Yeah. I was DJ for a little bit. Not long.
not
though.
long.
No,
How
it never
come?
stuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're here to talk about
Sugar
you.
was the other one.
We're here to talk about you. All right. So now, want to know what I remember the most about you as a kid?
Jesus. Oh my God.
Your back brace.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
So talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah. So that was 7th grade.
So 7th grade.
So you know how every year they test you for scoliosis.
Yes. The block and you reach over.
Yeah.
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 I still do
Some
that.
creep's running his hand up and down your back.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my
Sign up for a massage.
Yeah. So I had scoliosis. So there's two kinds of braces. There's the Milwaukee brace and the Boston brace. And the Milwaukee brace was for a higher curve, which is me, and comes up to here. Had like a bar down the front,
Yeah.
2 bars down the back,
Oh,
and
no.
plaster around like the waist and like over your bum, kind of like
It was 7th
It-
grade.
what. And I wore it for
She-
4 years.
You wore that for 4
4 years, 23 hours a day. The first 2.5 years. So I slept in
You
it.
slept in it.
Yeah. And then when they weaned me out of it, like I had to sleep in it because I was so used to sleeping in it. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I didn't know
Yeah.
that it was.
Into high school, I wore it.
Yeah.
But I went to an
Builds
all-girl high
character.
school, so
So thank God.
was okay.
So why did you go to NDA?
that's because my sister went there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That really kind of.
There's a nudge.
Yeah. Oh,
She started that train.
she did. Yeah.
Everybody went there,
And
right?
Yeah.
My 2 sisters.
Your 2 sisters,
You
Shannon.
too. Shannon,
Yep.
who we missing. Not on the Hamiltons didn't go.
Mm-mm. They went to Hanover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go there because your sister goes there.
Pretty much. I mean, Billy went to Thayer.
Yeah.
Stephen went to BC High, and then I went to. They weren't going to let me go to Hanover. So
But you couldn't. And back then you couldn't.
you couldn't what?
Couldn't go to Hanover High. It was crapola.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's changed. That
It's
public
totally
school
changed.
changed. And
Yeah.
actually, I think it's going the other way right now. But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
So you go to NDA and you don't no sports at NDA because you're walking around in a head to toe brace.
Yeah. For the first.
Amazing.
I would have liked to have played like field hockey, but they didn't have that. They had volleyball and track and field, and I think soccer, but I was never a soccer player.
And that's all they had
I
back
think that's all they had.
then. Wow.
They didn't have hockey. They didn't have field hockey.
Now they have one of the best hockey programs, girls hockey programs.
I know. Yeah.
Not public, but MIAA around.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then 4 years there,
Yep. 4 years
just doing
there.
doing music videos.
We all did. We all did it.
It was unbelievable the music videos they used to do.
Yeah.
I mean, props, dress ups, the whole
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Dancing on rooftops down in Dennis. Do you remember that at the Cape rental that we rented down the Cape every year? Our families, 2 families together.
That's
For
so
how
fun.
long? When did that
Years.
stop? Years. Yeah. But we never rented the same house twice.
So what's that tell you? They were like, "Yeah, you're not coming back."
Yeah.
Oh.
And
I thought you guys just wanted to change the scenery.
well, that's what we were told.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's how it was couched to us. We'd be like, "Oh, we love that house. Yeah, we can't go back there. Let's go somewhere else."
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's still happening to this day because we rented a house. My parents rented a house in Sagamore Beach.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful house. We were like, we'll rent this every year. It had a pool. It walked down to the beach. It was, it was accessible because it was on this side of the bridge. It wasn't that far to get to, and it wasn't super expensive because of that. And we weren't invited back.
Yeah.
We actually tried
Tell
to
her
buy
why.
it. Well, because my sister Heather's oldest, Rachel, took what was it like
It was sunscreen. or something.
sunscreen on the bluestone outside and like wrote her name,
Yeah.
and we couldn't
And
get
like
it out.
Stained and baked into it. But I think by the time they left, it was gone.
So
right?
the problem, what ended up happening was, My father panicked. I don't know why, and he immediately told them what happened. The owners of the house. Meanwhile, my mother, like your mother and all of the sisters in the O'Connell family, have like this magic touch and the ability to get shit out of stuff. Like you get, oh, Ma, here's this sweater that has blood from a dead cow on it, and the next day you can wear it to school, right?
Yeah,
Amazing. I don't know what they used, but so my mother I think she used baking soda.
And I think kitty litter had to do with it. Yeah.
Kitty litter.
Yeah, she looked it up, how to get something out of bluestone.
And worked it for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of it, you could, unless someone said, look right there, you can see the top half of an R.
Which is what your dad did.
But he reported it like, yeah.
Immediately.
Right. He told him to look at it. Like he brought and then, so the woman was not happy and pretty much told us on day 2 that you can't come back here. And it was we would still be renting it to this day because it was perfect.
And that's too bad because he was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like, I mean, bluestone's expensive, but
we could have picked up the piece.
Exactly.
And that's what I said. I said I could
pick it
go
up and
down
replace
by $100
Right.
piece of bluestone and replace it.
I know.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
But the cat was out of the bag.
Yeah.
All right. So you go through high school, partying with all your cousins.
Yep.
And all your friends.
Yep.
A lot of who you still talk to now.
Yeah.
You have a lot of friends from high school still, would you say?
Yeah, I do.
You have a fair amount.
I have a fair amount. Yeah.
Which I think is great.
Yep.
Especially from, I think that happens more with town. If you stay in town,
Yep.
you maintain those friendships. But when you go to private school, like I have friends from high school, but they're not my best buds.
Yep.
I'm still friendly with them.
Yep.
Most of them because I still see them around the hockey rink or like the golf course or whatever. But you have a good group that you stay in touch with.
Yep. I do. Yep.
Well,
Both.
okay, great.
Yeah.
That's the end of this show.
I know. Yeah. I mean, that I went to high school with a couple of them from Hanover, Hingham. Also went to Northeastern with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So how do you end up at Northeastern?
I got in. It was a safety school back then.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but anyway, I got in and I went for.
All right. So was that where so it wasn't where you wanted to go?
You know, I don't really remember like having one school be like somewhere I wanted to go. That's why I'm excited about doing like the school tours because I didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, it was a weird time in my family.
Yeah.
If you recall.
Yeah. A lot going on.
We're going through a divorce and stuff like that. So it wasn't really like the focus.
Yeah.
So I got in and I went to Northeastern. And I got into a couple of other schools. I think they were like New Hampshire and stuff. So I wanted to stay in Boston. So that was it.
So that was it. I mean, Doris kind of, her experience of the college selection process was kind of similar. She was like,
I think.
Okay, I got in. I'll go there.
Yeah, I think I was number 4. Well, she was number 2 in the family though. Yeah, so I was thinking I was number 4. So it was like kind of like whatever, you know, she's just gonna go wherever.
Well, but Northeastern was a great choice. So was it a 5-year program then? Did you do the 5 years?
It was the 5-year program. I left year 4.
Okay, that
but
makes a ton of sense. Yep.
I did do co-op.
You did?
Yep, I worked at WBZ.
Really?
Yep.
Another person that wanted to be in radio, and now look.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm very comfortable. No, I worked. My job was in the mailroom.
Oh.
Yep. But it was great because I went through the whole company every day, like twice a day, and met everybody in every department.
Okay.
So it happened to be, and I don't know if you remember People Are Talking, the show.
Vaguely.
Okay. So it happened to be when that was just starting to, they were just producing that.
Yeah.
And Tom Bergeron was the host. So do you know who that is?
Yep.
Yeah. So it was cool because I got to meet all those people.
Sure.
And there was a couple of times, and Billy Costa from Kiss 108 was in and out of there too. And I got to meet them, got friendly with them. And one of the things that they had me do as like the mailroom person was help with sometimes picking up guests if they sent a limo to pick them up.
Sure.
And one of the biggest ones was the New Kids on the Block, but I didn't pick up the new kids. I picked up the mothers, which was so great. It was so fun. So we went to each one of their houses in Dorchester and wherever and picked them up and brought them to the show. And I got to chat with the moms and they were so excited. And
That's
it was
so
really cool.
fun.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
So do you stay in that business or do you do anything beyond that? Just that one mailroom job?
I was there for I think 2 co-ops, and it was the mailroom job. But no, they used me for other
Sure,
things.
you were a utility player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the job through Northeastern was the mailroom
Right.
job, and it was great. It was fun. I met a ton of people, and then I think then I went back to school for whatever semester. I think when you did the co-op, sometimes you did a semester, 1-2 semesters, then the co-op.
Yeah.
Went all year round
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. I must have gone back to school and then ended up not going back to school before the next co-op came.
Got it.
Because I was there for a couple of co-ops.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then what happens next in your life?
Then I did commute to school for a little bit. I moved home, commuted to school, and then I ended up moving to California.
And why did you move to California?
So I was working at TGIFridays at the
Tons
time
of
when
flair.
when I was going to school from home. I was working at TGIFridays in Norwell.
I used to go there all the time.
And they had a passport program that you could work at various Fridays throughout the country if you were a Gold Star employee.
I'm assuming you were.
And I was.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yeah, excuse me, Your Honor. And my girlfriend and I got up and moved to California, and we took the southern route. We went south to Louisiana and then across through Texas, New Mexico, into California.
So you drove?
We drove, and we drove for about, the Jeep broke down in Texas for a little bit. So it took us a little bit longer. I think it was about a month, 5 weeks, something like that we took.
Oh, so you took your time.
Oh, yeah. And we
Cross
worked along the way. So we met employees at different Fridays, and we hung out with them. And
so you would.
we went to Farm Aid. We had a blast. We went to Tulane. We went
So
to
you would go down and say, I'm going to work 2 days at this.
Yeah,
at
so
this,
you
at this
walk
Fridays.
in. Yeah, you walk in and you say, does anybody want to not work tonight? I'll work. I'll take your shift.
I'm a Gold Star.
Yeah, I'm a Gold Star.
And
Yeah.
everybody
So you
was
would-
probably like,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Totally.
So you wouldn't have to. You wouldn't call ahead and say, "Hey, we're on our way."
Sometimes we would.
What a
Yeah.
great program.
It was a great program.
That's a great program.
Yeah.
I want to drive across country, so I'm jealous that you did. See, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know
So
that?
there you go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
figured you flew.
No.
I knew you went out. I knew you went to
Yeah.
California, and I
Yeah.
remember us talking about the Fridays thing, but I didn't realize that you kind of
Yeah.
took your time and worked on at the Fridays all the way through.
Yeah. So we thought we would be there for 6 months. So we're like, we'll go the southern route the first time. And then when we come back, we'll do like the Dakotas and all of that and come back the northern route. But I didn't come back for like 16 years. So, and I flew when I came
Yeah.
back.
Did
Yeah.
she stay? Your friend?
So it was Jill.
Oh yeah.
And she was out there with me for probably, I think I was out there for 16 years. She was probably out there for about 10. And then she went to New York.
Okay.
And she's been in New York ever
She's
since.
still there.
Yeah. And she was in New York working at Fridays in New York when we decided to do this. So she left that job in New York as a Gold Star.
Thank
person.
God you guys are both Gold
Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah.
Talk about that little
That's
nudge.
so cool.
What a great
That's so
nudge. What a great,
cool.
you take that job and next thing you know, it lands you in
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
If you would just think if you had gone to like Chili's, you'd be nowhere.
Exactly.
You'd still be at Chili's.
Exactly. Oh, God. Oh, I hope
You'd
not.
definitely be in management though.
Yeah.
So you go out to California. You
Yep.
don't work at
We
Fridays,
actually did work at Fridays
but
for
you
a
don't
little while.
not for 16 years.
No. But you know what? This is interesting. So we moved there, and the Rodney King trial was going on. Like we had been there for maybe a month. So we took jobs at Marina Del Rey Fridays, and it was oh my God, I'm getting stumped on how to explain this. But anyway, it was very popular with
African Americans.
yes.
Okay, you can say that's fine. You
Okay.
can say that.
And that's fine. And so we were working there, but the Rodney King trial happened and the verdict came out on like a Wednesday night or something. And they're like, you guys are not going to want to come to work tomorrow. We're not even going to open this. And I was like, what is going on? I had no idea
Right.
about this
The racial tension that
racial
was
tension.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
I just, even coming from Boston, and they say Boston is a very racial city, I had no idea about this. And it was crazy because the next day I was out with somebody from Fridays, and it was 2 friends that were from Boston and my friend, whatever. And we're out on motorcycles, and they're like, let's go to check out Malibu. So I'm like, oh, that's so fun. I'll go with you, whatever. We went to the Pier View in Malibu. We're sitting there watching TV. We don't have cell phones. And the whole city's on fire.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
like, is this normal? Is this like a normal Thursday? What is going on?
You had just moved there.
Pretty much, yeah, like within weeks.
Wow.
So I have no idea, but my mother's calling my apartment like crazy because she's seeing
Worried
it on the
about you.
news, worried about me. I can't call anybody. I don't have a cell phone. And I'm like, you need to get me back to my apartment. I don't think this is normal. And we ended up, thank God we were on motorcycles, because we were able to weave in and out of traffic, because the traffic, it was like a parking lot. You couldn't even get up because everybody was fleeing the city. So
Oh my goodness.
it was wild.
That's
It was
crazy.
really crazy.
That is wild. And
Yeah.
then but you stay.
I stayed. Yeah. And I think it was either that year or the next year was the earthquake,
Oh, right.
the Northridge earthquake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that was that during the World Series? Was that one? It must have been. What year was that?
I don't know.
I think that was during the World Series. We'll check on that for the next podcast.
Yeah.
So eventually you start working in what industry out there?
Well, I did waitress and bartend for a while.
Yep.
And then I got into telecommunications
Okay.
in sales.
In sales.
Yep.
How'd you like sales?
I love sales,
You do.
especially if you have a good product. It's fun, and you get to meet people, and you learn a lot, and you can, the sky's the limit on the money you can make and all
Yeah.
that stuff. My first sales job I hated, though.
Because the product was no good?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
It was like a phone system. I'm like,
Yeah.
Really?
This is not
like this-
sexy.
yeah, no, not at all.
No one's calling me Your Honor when I sell this.
No.
So I would say on the sales side, you got to have a good product and you got to have a good management team.
Yep.
Right? Because if
Yep.
you have a good product, you love selling it.
Yep.
But if you work for a bunch of jerks, you're miserable. Right?
Right.
And they're banging you. What were your sales? Blah, blah,
Right. Yeah.
So that ends up being counterproductive. So did you have both of those?
So first job had none of those.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I was only there for probably 6 months. And I did go to another telecommunications company, but it was selling service, not hardware.
Yeah.
And I had a great boss.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
important.
Yep. Great guy. He very young looking, but probably my age, same age. He had just been promoted, and he was awesome. He was just, so helpful. Great mentor.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That was a little nudge for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name?
John Marr.
John Marr.
Yep.
Like Maher, like the singer? Is that
Yeah.
John Mayer?
Mayor.
How do you spell Marr? Marr.
I did have an H in it. I don't know exactly.
Maybe Mahr. Marr.
Yeah, something like
Because
that.
yeah.
I'll have to see if I think we're friends on LinkedIn.
Well, he's probably listening.
Exactly.
I mean, we definitely have a West Coast contingent. So John Marr, if you're still out there, Marni Migliaccio remembers you. But
Migliaccio.
you weren't Migliaccio.
I
you were
was
Brandt. Yeah.
What a
One
change.
syllable to
15.
5, right? Yeah.
So when do you meet your husband?
Oh, okay. So I met
Oh, okay.
my husband.
The only thing missing there was the hair flip, right? Oh, okay.
So I met him. Actually, he was the one who nudged me to get the job in sales. So I met him before I got into sales.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the one that, was like, if we can only, get you out of this waitressing
Yeah,
gig
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and get into sales. And so he was that nudge. And
That's a nice nudge.
Yeah.
It is.
So I met him when I was working at a restaurant called H2O in Manhattan Beach. And it was the beginning of my shift, and there was a general store across the street. So before my shift, I would go like load up on, I don't know, candy or something. You know what I mean?
Something to snack on
And
every time I went
gum.
back to
Yeah,
the booth.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was crossing the street, and him and his friend Chris were driving and stopped at the stop sign and just, screamed out the window at me. That's how I met my husband.
Come on.
I'm not kidding.
You're kidding me.
He was like, "Hey." Yeah. Yeah. And I had a really strong Boston accent.
Yeah. So and he's from Rhode Island.
Yeah, and he's like, "What's your name?" And I said, "Marni." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Marni." And he's like, "Excuse me, say that again." I'm like, "Marni."
Yeah.
Just like that, like, ugh, this guy.
Loser.
Yeah. And then he came in and visited me.
So he must have watched you walk into the
Well,
rest.
he said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to work."
Oh,
I had like the shirt on,
right.
And then he came in the next time, and
The next day or like?
no, the next week. I think it was the same day. The next week, that same shift. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
because he knew you worked that
Yes.
shift.
Right.
Yes.
Smart.
All right. So he thought it out,
Yes.
and it took him
I
a week
love
to.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a love
I
story.
love that.
Look at her.
Cat called.
You got catcalled.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
As you should.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not needed here anymore, I guess. But you stay out there. Are you in telecommunications the whole time? Because you're out there a long time.
Yes. No. What did I do? Yeah, I was actually. Yeah. Telepacific was the last company I worked for,
So that was.
and I worked there for a long time.
So eventually you're out there, and you decide you got to move home.
So what happened is we got married,
Yeah.
and then we started trying to have kids,
Yeah.
and we had a little difficulty there.
Yep.
So it took a while, and we had doctors involved and all that stuff. So we did IVF. And when I did have Henry, finally, when he was turning 1, I was like, you know what? We had already brought him back a couple of times to back home. I'm like, I really don't want him knowing my mother like twice a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or know my parents, my
Cousins.
siblings and
Yeah.
cousins and all that stuff. So we talked about it, and Michael got a transfer at his company, and I quit,
You quit.
and moved back east. Yep. So
And
he left a month before I did, and I stayed with Henry and wrapped the house up and everything.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And he drove across country.
He did.
Yeah,
You
with
flew.
his boat.
He trailered his boat across
With
country?
That Mako boat.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and my dog.
All the way across
All
country.
the way across country.
Holy moly.
With a Tahoe. Like, what about a gas guzzler?
Oh
there?
my
Yeah.
God. What
Yeah.
a grind.
Yeah.
I don't even like to tow my boat to the end of my driveway. I'm not kidding. You don't realize how stressful it is.
Yeah.
It
He
is
went across country.
Towing a boat is so stressful. I'm just waiting for the thing. First of all, I'm an
Yeah.
idiot when it comes to that stuff.
Mhm.
Like I'm the one
Not
that
you. I'm talking about my husband.
I'm the one that would forget to like put the hitch on or do something as basic as like
Get a phone call, walk away.
forget to put the last thing on the trailer hitch, and then I'm going down the side of the road and it's skipping down off the trees.
Yeah.
So I stress out about trailering. I can't imagine trailing
Yeah.
a boat across country.
Yeah. He did.
New respect. See, there's another thing
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
New respect
Big
for
time.
Michael Mig. You trailing a boat across country?
Yeah.
So he must whip that boat in and out of the water like it's nothing when he has to
Yeah.
trail it.
He's good at it.
Yeah. It's a skill. Trailering a boat is it's a skill.
I will say a couple times with the doohickey though, which is just a trailer.
Yeah.
He wasn't that good at keeping it attached.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, a couple of dents here and there. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, he just was like up here. And we were like, and now we're like,
Yeah.
way to go, Mike, with
Yeah.
the trailer.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah.
So you move back home. Do you move right to Duxbury? You don't move right to Oak
No,
Street.
we rented in Situate in Minot.
Oh yeah, I remember
Do
that.
you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Now.
And we were there for, I think, like almost 2 years.
So
right?
talk to me a little bit about, because he's Rhode Island.
Yep.
And he's, Barrington through
Yep.
and through, loves his Rhode
Loves his-
Island.
Yep. He's
If he
a
could have
roadie boy.
if he could have Rhode Island plates on his car, he would, right?
Yep.
So that must have been was there a discussion around that? It was
Oh yeah.
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 And,
So
and
it
you
was,
won.
Well, it was, we're not moving to Hanover
Yeah.
and we're not moving to Barrington.
Okay.
Let's find something in the middle, which ended up being Duxbury.
That's not even close to the middle.
No, I know. But
Yeah, let's try and find something in the middle, but that's really close to where I want to be.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
how that.
But we both wanted ocean, water.
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to be
yeah,
on the
yeah.
coast.
Yeah.
So in Situate was great, except for where we were, especially in Situate.
Can't get there.
Can't get there from here.
Yeah.
Every exit was at least 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
So it's just a pain, and far.
So then they were sitting around, and I'll tell this part of the story. They were sitting around looking at a map, and they saw where my house was,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Let's get as close to Danny as we can."
We're literally around the corner. Around the corner.
Could walk,
so
100%
nice.
walk. Yeah,
That's so nice. And now your kids can grow up the way that you did.
Yeah.
yeah, and they do, and so my Annabelle and Henry are the same age. Annabelle will be 17 next month,
Yep.
and Henry just turned 16, and Henry's very close with Maddie Reynolds, who's my sister Heather's second. So it's nice.
Yeah, it is
That's
nice.
And then
great.
my Annabelle, they have a great relationship.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and then it's funny how all the ages kind of matched up. Like the fourth Danny, which is my sister Heather's kid, and my Hank are the same age, buddy. Henry and Maddie.
Yeah.
Rachel and Annabelle, and even Annabelle and Henry.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah.
So they all congregate and hang out together.
Yeah.
So nice.
And probably will do more of that now that the licenses are all coming into
Licenses,
play.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
when they're at different colleges, they'll go
Yep.
see each other.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and Henry be trying to make out with Annabelle's friends, and it's gonna be amazing.
That's what happens.
It is.
It's gonna be absolutely
My
amazing.
cousin's my best friend, and he did it. So
Really
Yeah.
made out with all your friends,
Yep.
Yeah.
every single one of them.
yeah, I went to college, and they assign you a roommate. And the girl was from the town that he grew up in. I was like, "Oh, do you know her?" He's like, "I know her." I was like, "I haven't even met her yet."
She calls me Your Honor. So you eventually moved to Duxbury
Yep.
because it's a coastal town. It's a wonderful town. I live there. That's why you moved there.
Yep.
But, and eventually you make a decision to get into real estate because that wasn't your profession.
It wasn't my profession. So when I got back here, I did start working another corporate job in energy,
Yeah.
but it was kind of the same deal as my telecom job of selling services. So I worked for 2 different companies for a while, not at the same time, one then the other, for a while. And then I wasn't loving it.
Yeah.
And then I had to have my ACL done.
Yeah.
And I was going to be out of work for, I don't know, 2 weeks or whatever. And I think I was having a rough month as it was. And they were like kind of threatening to get rid of me. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even care.
Yeah.
So
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into real estate again because I did have my license in California.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that.
I had my real estate license in California, but I didn't go full time.
Yeah.
And I maybe sold 3 or 4 houses in California.
Okay.
My first sale was an open house. It was unbelievable. So I was like, this is great.
It's the easiest thing ever.
Easiest thing ever. And then it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
And so that's why I kept my day job. But anyway, I said to myself, I'm going to just go full time in real estate and give it a shot. And your mother has always been the nudge for that.
Yeah.
Initially, like she always would say to me, you should get into real estate. You should get into real estate. So I said I was going to do that. Right. And I retook the class. I don't think I had to.
Yeah.
I think I could have just taken the test and got relicensed. But anyway, I took the class again. It is a little bit different in California than it is in Massachusetts because they have trust deeds and we have mortgages. And so things are just a little bit different.
Sure.
And that was great. And then you were a nudge
Oh.
too. Yes.
The nudge was a nudge.
Yes. Who texted me one morning and said, I heard you want to get into real estate. You really should give Kristen Daly a call.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So you called Kristen Daly.
Because I had met with, your mother was like, go to Coldwell Banker, go to Ravis. And I had met with a couple of different, I think I had met with Coldwell, Ravis, and somebody else. I can't remember. And then I met with Kristen.
And Kristen's at Success
And
Real
Kristen's
Estate.
at
She has been a
Success.
guest on the show.
She
Yes.
has.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the ACL was a little bit of a nudge
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But she didn't like that job.
You know, corporate. It's just, I just don't like the whole corporate.
Yeah. It's a
Thing.
tough place to
It really
the corporate
is.
world is a tough world.
And you're just a number no matter what
Yep.
you do.
Yeah.
So
Job goes on no matter you show up or don't show up, and they'll just
Exactly.
replace you.
yeah. So I was done with that, you know.
Yeah. And so how many years ago was that?
I think I'm coming up to 10 years with Success. I think.
Really?
I think, yeah. 9 or 10.
Now you opened up your own shop in Duxbury.
Yep.
So you were working out of Kristen's office for a while, right?
So technically, yes, but I really would go to the Marshfield office.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And then recently you opened up your own office in Duxbury.
Yes.
How recent?
Like a year ago.
Okay.
Year and a
So you're a broker now. How's that work?
No, I'm running under Steve's license.
Okay.
But I did take the class and I need to take the test.
You got to take the test.
Yeah.
Because you got to have like 3 or 4 years of experience.
Yep.
In certain.
So I have all that.
Yeah.
And I have my bond or whatever I needed, and I have everything. I just need to take the test.
But you don't really need it under your
I
current structure.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
No, it would be nice though.
Yeah. Well, get it done.
I know. I
There's
gotta
the
get it
nudge
done.
right there. Just get it done.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave here and get it done. Just go
Okay,
right over to
I'll
wherever
go
you got.
today.
You got nothing else going on. Just
Yeah.
march over there.
Yeah.
So, but you kind of hit it right as far as the timing of the market, right? Because you're talking, if you got in 10 years ago, what are we, 2023? So you got in like around 13, kind of
Yeah.
got your feet wet, and then it took off through
Yeah.
the moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much of your business is in Duxbury?
I would say 25%.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
You need to get a bigger
I
footprint,
do.
girlfriend.
I know. It's hard.
Yeah.
I know. Well, yeah, I do.
Because that's a good market. But we were talking, and we have to, because we're sponsored by Crowd Lending and they pay for all this stuff in here,
Yeah.
we're going to talk real estate
Yeah.
for a little while.
That's fine.
And we were talking before we came on air. That's like what personalities say before we got on air.
Yeah.
About the state of the market. I just, I want to make sure
Yeah.
everyone knows that I'm a radio personality now.
Yeah.
Right, Rupia?
Right.
Yeah.
He's a personality.
Oh,
That's for sure.
You're a personality, all right. Right. Talk about the dad things to say. You're a personality, all right. I'll give you personality, right? Yeah. You personality. You haven't seen any personality, right? Things your father would say, or my father would say.
Exactly. It's true.
What are you seeing out there right now? And I thought you didn't. You explained it very nicely about what are you seeing with pricing and open houses and activity and
So
things
there's
like
still a ton of buyers.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's still a seller's market. But what I'm seeing is it's local. Certain markets are still having multiple offers. Not as crazy, although I've heard some a little crazy, but not like the last spring
Yep.
right now. But things are also going on overpriced a little bit.
So people are hanging on to
And
that.
they're hanging on and they're not biting at those, which they would have bit last year. No
Questions asked.
no questions asked. Right.
So what price point are you seeing sort of that multiple offer packed open houses? What's the price point? Is it $750? Is it $500? Is it $1 million?
I'd definitely between 6 and 8 is,
That's the sweet spot.
yeah.
And those are,
And anything under 6, like 3 to 6 is, I mean, that's like pretty cheap in this market.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it's true.
well,
And
you're all South Shore, right? I mean,
I'm all South Shore. And
Yeah.
those are always going to be, kind of a lot of interest at that, because there's always going to be first time home buyers or whatever in whatever market. So
what does that product look like though? The $300,000-$400,000 product on the South Shore. Is it worth buying? Is it? Is there a good product for that price point for that buyer?
not really.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a fix and flip borderline.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the
And
six
those are overpriced too. And those you see kind of coming down faster, I think.
the fix and flips.
Yeah, that going on too high, and people are saying no. I'd rather spend $100,000 more and not have to do all that work.
Yeah.
And
So the 600 to 800 market is still the sweet spot down on the South Shore right
yeah,
now.
I would say that. Yeah.
What are you seeing in the high end market?
I would say that's a sweet
Call it.
spot in the high end
Just call
market.
it. What are you seeing on properties that are priced over $1 million on the South Shore? Are they still moving?
In certain towns.
So
They are.
how about Hanover,
Absolutely.
for example?
I think Hanover is. Yeah, Hanover is so desirable.
Yeah,
It really is.
I know. It's a great town right
It's
now.
a great town,
Yeah,
but it's incredible too because it's it's not on the coast or whatever.
yeah.
But it has so many great neighborhoods and like
So many great neighborhoods.
big,
It's
beautiful houses.
It's not Hingham, but it's as far
Yeah.
as travel, right? It's only a couple more exits from Hingham.
yeah.
And most of the town is fairly accessible from the highway,
Yeah,
whether it's
in and
12 or
out.
13. Those
Yeah.
aren't the exit numbers anymore,
I
but
know.
we grew
So
up 12 and
frustrating.
13. I
Yeah.
don't know what the exit numbers are anymore.
Oh, I meant to pull that up for you. I have a funny TikTok or something about the exits. Did you see that? I have to find it.
No, you got to send it to Rupe. She'll put
I'll
it in
send it to you because
she'll
it's
put it in the production.
hilarious. It's hilarious as to why they were why they did that.
Oh, really?
Like a funny spoof. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
guys,
you
you
gotta-
got to think of new, innovative ways to spend our citizens' tax money. Schools, what do you got? Well, we were thinking with remote and hybrid learning, maybe we could take all the time with the schools being empty and make some dire repairs we've needed for decades. Could work, not a bad idea. Small businesses, how about you? Well, we were thinking with the pandemic, we might, need a little help to revitalize our, state's industry. So we're thinking basically a mini bailout. That way, when the pandemic is over, we can bring our economy back bigger and better than ever. Sure. All right. DOT, how about you? What do you got? We were thinking we change the highway exit number signs. It's probably the cheapest out of all of them. You son of a bitch.
Funny
Let's do
spoof.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I'll
got to
find
send
it.
that over.
Yeah.
So now you've got your own shop, own office in Duxbury, which is very nice. Anybody working out of there with you right now?
No, not yet.
Not yet. It's a nice space.
It's a nice space. I opened it last year, and then I had my shoulder surgery.
Jeez.
So I know.
You're like a professional athlete over there. I got
know,
a bum
and
shoulder. I got a bum knee. You never
And
played
I
it.
didn't play any sports.
I know, but
Could
you
you
look.
imagine
I
if I
mean,
did?
but, you had wore a brace for 4 years. You should.
I know.
You should be in a
You're
box.
working.
I'm a mess. And I had a headgear too. We forgot that.
Oh, that's right.
my God.
Oh, yeah.
my God.
She was metal head to toe. It was amazing. The brace had like a thing for your chin to sit on, right?
Oh,
And then
my
she had
God.
a
And
head-
you rest your
That-
headgear on that.
My headgear was not the
For
one
the braces, right?
It wasn't the easy one that went around the back of the neck.
Yeah.
It had two plastic things right here, and it went up and around and
Oh, honey.
awful.
You grew into yourself.
Oh, I hope so.
Jesus Christ.
That was a disaster.
It's amazing.
My dog chewed my retainer though, and I never went back to the orthodontist.
No?
No,
Your
'cause
teeth
I didn't
look
want to
great.
put that headgear back
I
on.
don't blame you.
I still do have crooked teeth right here.
I have some crooked
Yeah.
teeth too. I don't like to show anybody.
Whatever. It's fine.
It is what it is.
Yeah, right? All the British have crooked teeth.
They do, and they're so smart. Just listen to them talk.
Right?
So what's next then? What's next?
Well, I definitely want to build my office.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
That's
this
what's
year's
next.
goal. Yeah.
You just got to get one. You got to find
Yep,
one.
exactly. And then more will come.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's hard right now because there's no listings. So trying to get somebody new is tough, because they're going to sit around and twiddle their thumbs.
Yeah.
I will have to mentor them, which is fine. But then the tenured people, they're fighting over listings and, nobody wants to leave their companies right now.
Yeah.
'cause
A lot of unknown out there.
A lot of unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
We think you did a wonderful job.
Okay. Thank you.
What do you think, Root Beer?
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best job.
Yeah. Great job, right?
Yeah,
Great
job.
story.
I want to go work at Fridays. I'm out of here.
Fridays,
them now.
Fridays might have been the biggest nudge in your life.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, think about all the things
That's
it leads to.
true. Yeah.
It leads to your husband, who obviously you have a child now,
Yeah.
and then Fridays, TGI Fridays.
TGI Fridays.
You owe a lot to them.
I do.
Would you say they're closing?
Yeah. Well, didn't they
Yeah.
close in Norwell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's
and they don't really wear the flare that they used to make.
What was
That's what
the-
happened. They lost the flag.
That's
Yeah.
it. Exactly.
That was it.
That's the
we
problem.
call corporate, tell them to
Demise.
get their flair back.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You did a wonderful job, and as everybody knows, if anybody has any questions or concerns or just needs some advice, give me a call because everybody needs a nudge. Good job, Root Beer.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Good job.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.